Should you post your child on social media? Some say it's harmless, while others say it presents certain dangers. Let's talk about it. So right out the gate, I am fully aware that there's nothing more obnoxious than someone giving advice on kids when they don't have kids themselves. I do not have any biological kids of my own, but I am a step-parent. They're teenagers now. I raised them from the time they were small. So I'm not completely clueless on the subject. I also recognize that if I had biological children, maybe I would be in a different headspace about this subject. Maybe I would think differently. Who knows? More importantly, I am a cult survivor who was subjected to things as a child when I didn't have the ability to speak up or walk away. And for a long time, I've been wanting to explore this whole subject of kids on social media. I'm not referring to kids using social media, that's a whole thing in itself, but specifically parents who post photos and videos of their children on social media. I was in high school when MySpace came out, so now I'm in a position in my life where I'm watching these generations after me grow up with social media from infancy. They don't know anything else, like boomers who didn't know the internet, but I was weaned on computers. I didn't grow up in the whole analog world like my parents. Just like kids today will never remember that sweet, sweet sound. Circling back around, a lot of my friends and, acquaintances or moms really love to show photos, post photos of their kids on social media. You can tell they just love being a mom. They get some really beautiful shots. Sometimes they hire photographers to take like family photos. Social media is so ubiquitous. It's everywhere. Love it or hate it, social media is everywhere. So it's not a stretch. It's not shocking that a proud mom would want to post a photo of her newborn or her kid did something cute. I get it. However, there's another camp of people who don't feel this way. Maybe they regret motherhood, which is a big taboo that we don't want to talk about. The singer Chappell Roan recently claimed that all her friends who are moms are, quote, in hell, which got a lot of backlash, but sometimes it has nothing to do with that. Some people, they love their kid. It has nothing to do with that. They're just very private and they don't feel that certain moments need to be shared with the world. There are even advocacy groups starting to crop up that are pushing legislation which would protect child influencers, specifically, from being exploited by their parents. So again, this is something I've been thinking about for a while. There's a few points that I want to cover, and then you guys tell me what camp you're in. My kid, my choice, or leave my kid off the internet. Piper Raquel. Piper Raquel is a viral YouTube child star whose mother or momager, Tiffany Smith, was sued by other cast members who made videos with her daughter Piper that made up what was called The Squad. Netflix recently released a 3-part documentary detailing Piper Raquel's rise to child stardom, specifically the physical, mental, and sexual abuse that she and her other squad members endured while working with Smith. But the documentary called Bad Influence, The Dark Side of Kidfluencing, is basically trying to tackle what seems to be increasingly a moral dilemma. Where's the line when it comes to content creation involving minors? Personally, I found the documentary fascinating because no, I did not grow up like Piper Raquel. I grew up in a religious cult. People who know me and know this channel know that I was raised in the Jehovah's Witnesses, but there were surprisingly many parallels in the sense of themes like coercion, threats, emotional and psychological manipulation coming from a parent, family member, just people you thought you could trust. It becomes clear in the docuseries that Piper is continually asked to do things that she is not comfortable doing or that a child should not be doing from what her friends allege in their interviews, or Piper doesn't fully understand the ramifications of what she's involved in. But she can't do anything about it or say anything about it because her mother is making her the sole breadwinner of the family. Her mother is making millions of dollars off her daughter. Another thing, Piper is exhausted. She's not getting adequate rest. She's being forced to do videos until 2, 3 in the morning. She's not doing any schooling. Her mother didn't enroll her in school. And I'm watching this, and at one point, I'm glad that somebody said it in the documentary, in the docuseries. Somebody who lived through it and was part of the squad, they said it had very cult-like, it was a very cult-like atmosphere. So whether you want to refer to this or think of this as a cult, there were a lot of cult-like elements, and the strategies that the mother, Tiffany Smith, used to control Piper and other squad members are very similar to cults and authoritarian type religious leaders, keeping you so busy, so tired, so entrenched that you do not have the energy to stand up for yourself, to speak up or fight back. So Smith, the mother, has basically been accused of pimping her daughter out on social media. And apparently Piper has taken root on several other social media platforms since then, including Brand Army, which is being called the OnlyFans for minors. And she's even collaborated with the Bop House, which was a major controversy because the Bop House was created and run by OnlyFans content creators, despite the fact that Piper was underage. Sharenting. So this young woman, this minor, is clearly not in control of her own life. She doesn't have a say. She's never had a say. And she's part of a much larger trend that experts are now referring to as sharenting. It's not just one or two pictures, but oversharing their child's private life online. And if you do a search on this topic, you'll find a bunch of 20-somethings who are now calling out their parents for documenting their entire childhood on social media, and who are actually working to pass laws to mitigate the harmful effects of sharenting. One woman who's now in her early 20s is saying, my mom always had a camera in my face and I didn't understand what was happening. I thought it was just my mom's hobby. I didn't realize that my mom was showing these photos to people. And something that really stood out to me, she started menstruating and her mother posted about it on Facebook. One of her mother's friends came up to her one day. "Oh, honey, I heard you started your period. You're becoming a woman." Person saying like she was really embarrassed. She didn't know this person. "Why do you know this private information about me?" And it's because her mother posted about it. And that particular story really stuck with me. It's like, how would I have felt if my mother had the ability at the time to do that and blast that on social media? It's just interesting to me how this is the first generation, really, that's grown up with this sort of exposure. And it's made me think, honestly, like, how have I participated in it? For a while there on Instagram, the algorithm was sending me kid reels. This kid is in a diaper and spit up on himself. Now it's a meme. Got another little girl playing in her little Fisher-Price kitchen. She's making little drinks and little food, and she's sassy. And I'm thinking, okay, that's cute, I get it. But she had a little crop top on, which was clearly made for a child. The mother probably bought it for $5 at Target. It was not like the mother was purposely sexualizing her child. Mother's freaked out. How can you do this to your kid? Look at what you're dressing your child in. That looks too adult. There's a bunch of mom shaming back and forth. And then you just keep scrolling a couple of tiles down and I see a kid having a meltdown for whatever reason, and the dad is filming it because he thinks it's funny, filming their kids for laughs, Mom and dad are laughing in the background. I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, if I was that kid, I'd be embarrassed. Now all my friends at school or all the kids at school have seen this and they're gonna make fun of me, or they are making fun of me, bullying me, or I'm gonna be 21 years old and thousands of strangers have downloaded an image or reel of me from when I was a little kid eating spaghetti and shitting my pants. Thanks, Mom. And here's the crazy part. Like, I'd be a hypocrite if I said I never laughed at one of those things or didn't retweet or share something because I thought the kid, look at the cute little, oh my God, look at the cute. Dude, did you see the toddler playing piano with his toes? I'll send it to you. And yet, like a switch went off in my brain. I don't know if I want to contribute to this. I grew up in a cult. I was surrounded by adults, and they were doing one of two things. They were either fawning over me and giving me lots of unwanted attention, or they were bossing me around. It was like I had 80 mothers. There was adults everywhere, always in my face. They were always hovering. Like, I didn't feel like my life was my own because my parents raised me in an environment where boundaries were blurred. Basically, lately I've just been trying to not engage with content that has a baby or a minor in it. Like, you can manage preferences, which again is really difficult because sometimes it's just legitimately cute, or the kid is really smart or talented. But like, just on principle, I don't know this kid. And I'm not gonna do this perfectly because it's everywhere. I as much as I try to filter it out, another kid is gonna be playing the piano with his toes. I know it's gonna happen. Now, I'm sorry, if your baby ugly, I'm definitely blocking his ass. Along with women who tap their nails on everything, straight to jail. Now what? I'm conflicted on this. We have child stars, in TV, movies, but at least there's some sort of legal guardrails. Like, the kid has to have a teacher. They have to eat and sleep at, clock out at a proper time. There's some sort of child labor laws in place. At least there should be. I don't know, I'm not an expert on that. And they should be getting paid. I think there are some laws that have been passed that parents have to put some sort of, fund aside, or they can only take a certain percentage so that the kid is not exploited. So it's not like I'm saying there shouldn't be a space for kids to showcase their personality, their talents, to just have fun, but also, like, where's the line? How do we do that? How do we let kids do this ethically? Because when I look at it, when I am looking at a photo of my friend's toddler in the bathtub with strategically placed stars and hearts over key sensitive areas, I know I have good intentions. but the world is full of sketchy, dangerous characters and you don't know who's on the other side of that screen. I don't know. How do you guys feel about this? Should parents post their kids on social media? Leave a comment. And don't forget, my very first live stream will be Saturday, May 24th. Click the join button below so you don't miss it. Channel supporters will get private access to this live stream and future live streams where we can all hang out and chat. Again, first live stream, Saturday, May 24th. Hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. Hope you have a great week and see you soon.